Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to read the article on prisons purge. I want to know what happened. They kicked out the commissioner general and the committee and the committee bosses unceremoniously. The embarrassment. No. This is what I'm reading. Can you even see? Bribery negligence spark prisons purge after 3 escape. Mpaka Prezo had to be involved. President Kenyatta, and I'm reading from the Daily Nation, President Kenyatta is reportedly determined to put a stop to the increasing cases of prison escapes. Higher. Suspicions that rogue officials were behind numerous jailbreaks that escalated with the escape of 3 terrorism convicts from Kamiti maximum security prison forced President Kenyatta to sack Commissioner General Wycliffe Ogallo. In a day filled with drama, the president replaced Mr. Ogallo with retired Kenya Defence Forces Brigadier John Warioba after a crisis meeting at State House with top officials of the Interior Ministry. The 2-hour meeting, to which Mr. Ogallo, a veteran provincial administration official, was not invited, was attended by Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, Corrections Principal Secretary Zainab Hussein, and other top commanders. The agenda, according to credible sources, was to discuss the escape from Kamiti of Musharraf Abdallah, 34 years, Mohammed Ali Abikar, 22 years, and Joseph Juma Odhiambo, aka Yusuf, 30 years, who have been on the run since Monday. But sources say the president is determined to put a stop to the increasing cases of prison escapes blamed on laxity by security officers. The latest happening 3 days after he had ordered security agencies, following a meeting of the National Security Council, to step up vigilance across the country. Meanwhile, at the Kenya prison's headquarters, journalists were kept waiting for an intended visit by Dr. Matiang'i. Mr. Ogallo was in his office waiting for Dr. Matiang'i, oblivious that his fate was about to be sealed at State House, just a stone's throw away. Wow. Guys, let me tell you, your job, it's important, but it's not that important. Priorities zako right. Around 1 p.m., a helicopter was dispatched to pick the officer in charge of Kenya Prisons Training College, Miss Wanini Kireri, from Ruiru, Kiambu. A ceremonial uniform for a high-ranking official in the rank of a commandant was also reportedly ordered from Magereza House by State House. It was promptly delivered. As the meeting between the president and his security chiefs was going on, Brigadier Warioba was ushered into the room. President Kenyatta informed those in attendance that the retired brigadier was going to take over as the prison's boss. He was then sworn in. A statement released by State House spokesperson Kanzedina Mararo thereafter communicated the sacking of Mr. Ogallo, saying he would be replaced by Brigadier Warioba. You haven't even heard the news. Na ni wewe unasakiwa, unaisikia tu. Woo! The appointment follows the briefing to the head of state from the ministry responsible for correctional services regarding the security breaches at the Kamiti maximum security prison that led to the escape of 3 inmates, the statement said. However, the drama was far from over. Anti-terror police unit officers were dispatched to Magereza House. Mr. Ogallo and committee officer in charge Charles Mutembei were marked men. Ironically, Earlier in the morning, Mr. Ogallo had tried to transfer Mr. Mutembei. Mr. Ogallo, who had scheduled an interview with a local television station, had reported to work as usual until about 9 a.m. when he called it off, saying he had been summoned to State House. At 4:30 p.m., security was heightened at the main gate to Magereza House. Detectives in plain clothes positioned themselves both inside the building and outside. Shortly after, a team of heavily armed officers joined them. They went into the premises and arrested Mr. Mutembei as well as his deputy. The two had presumably been summoned by their boss. They were bundled into a waiting car and escorted to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI) headquarters for questioning. Mr. Ogallo was then escorted out of the building by detectives and officers in uniform. Senior DCI detectives from Nairobi area police station escorted him to a waiting vehicle. Wow, that's bright. Mr. Ogallo asked whether he could sit on the front passenger seat, but the officers ordered him to get into the back. Oh, umezoea kubebwa mbele, sai unaambiwa boss. It's not the same. It's not the same. Go to the back. The convoy drove to the DCI headquarters. The National Police Service later denied on Twitter that Mr. Ogallo had been arrested. The post suggested that police were facilitating a smooth and seamless handover of office. At Magereza House, immediately after the dramatic arrests, Miss Zainab introduced the new prison's boss. The PS, however, declined to comment on Mr. Ogallo's arrest. Reports later emerged that Mr. Ogallo was to hold a news conference at a private residence in Langata at 7 p.m. about the circumstances leading to his removal, but the media briefing was shortly after called off. By last evening, it was unclear why the committee officer in charge and his deputy were arrested. However, sources told the nation that some officers were allegedly bribed in order to facilitate the escape of the three prisoners on Monday. The National Intelligence Service has reportedly uncovered a suspicious money trail and communication involving some officers in committee. Detectives also want to find out why CCTV cameras in the highly secure prison were not working on the day the prisoners escaped, and why the malfunctioning was never reported. It was an inside job. It was an inside job, people. Tunajua. Questions have been raised why the management of committee decided to not house the prisoners who escaped on the same block with other terrorism suspects at condemned G block. They were locked up in cell number 6 block A, which has less security. Since the jailbreak at Atpu Anti-Terror Police Unit, officers have interrogated one prisoner who was in the same cell with the escapees but stayed behind. The convict reportedly has bullet injuries that has not recovered from. 3 more warders were arrested yesterday, adding to 10 the number of officers in custody. The 3 are suspected. What did I just read? The 3 are Inspector Edwin Muhia Njuguna, Inspector Sylvester Musioka, and Warden Moses Kaikai, who were arraigned at the Kahawa Law Courts. Detectives were allowed to hold them for a further 25 days to complete their investigations. President Kenyatta directed security chiefs to pursue the committee escapees with all available resources. He also directed the State Department of Correctional Services to take disciplinary action against all Kenya Prison Service personnel who were on duty that day. That is it. Someone is just sworn in. Saile uko na hata ujui. Yani in 1 second you had a job, yani ile job, and in the next you're down here. Okay, this lighting today. So anyway, that is the story. Now, by the way, these prisoners, these escapees, have a bounty of 20 million on each head. So ukipata wote watatu, 60 million pap. Haya, that is it for me. Oh yeah, please subscribe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.